The European Union says it's ready to boost its carbon-cutting commitment. Speaking at the COP27 summit in Egypt, EU climate policy chief Frans Timmermans says that the bloc will update its target to cut those emissions. Now, he says that the move will show the bloc's ambition to do more in the fight against climate change. Mr. Timmermans also highlighted the recent EU policies to cut emissions at a faster pace than previously planned, slamming allegations that the bloc is backtracking on the pledges. He also said that the group is ready to help other nations tackle the climate crisis, but is unsure about whether global leaders can find a consensus this week on the loss and damage mechanism.
We are ready to address loss and damage because too many countries cannot shoulder the climate crisis on their own. We need to close the gap on climate finance, including by collectively doubling adaptation finance. Parties that have not delivered need to take responsibility and need to deliver. We need to work with multilateral banks to get the shift of the trillions going. The EU is committed to taking concrete measures to address the gap in loss and damage, including new funding arrangements.
Renewable energy, smart grids, efficiency and energy storage, all elements of a much-needed vision for how our power systems could evolve in the near future to help slow down the effects of climate change. CNA's Julie Yu is at the UN-led climate talks in El-Sheikh, Egypt, and she spoke with the Chief Sustainability Officer for GE, Roger Martella.
Our equipment helps power 1/3 of the world's energy in 170 countries. So we want to decarbonize the energy sector. We want to pull the carbon out while we're producing energy. So renewable energy, switching coal to gas, building a stronger, more modern grid. But we're also innovating the technologies we're going to need in the upcoming decades, like small modular reactors, hydrogen as a fuel, carbon capture sequestration, so we can help our customers and countries get to those net zero goals while growing the strength of energy at the same time.
Well, the new buzzword has been introduced in the conversation around the global energy transition, and that being hydrogen. It's been touted as the fuel of the future. How do you see its role and the opportunities that could be generated around the world?
We really wanted to come to COP27 and say we're going to have proof points. We're not going to talk, we're going to have action. So yesterday at the El-Sheikh power plant, we ran the gas turbines that's running the lights, running the power here on a blend of hydrogen for the very first time for Egypt and for the African continent. Now, we don't want to oversell it. It was for a few hours, but what we wanted to do was to show that this isn't just a U.S. European Union issue, that Egypt, the African continent, emerging economies should be invested in these breakthrough technologies.
So where does GE stand on nuclear energy?
So the focus on the future of nuclear are small modular reactors, taking existing nuclear technology, but basically miniaturizing them, being able to build them in contained environments like factories and having them with a less kind of physical footprint on the environment. So we've become the leading provider of the innovator for small modular reactors, something called the BWRX, which we hope to see. We're working on the demonstration phase. We hope to see it rolled out in Canada in 2027, 2028, and huge interest in COP27 from all around the world on how countries can deploy small modular reactors as part of their decarbonization solutions.
Now, let's turn to your aviation business. I understand that 3 out of 4 commercial flights are powered by GE or its engines. How is GE helping decarbonize the aviation sector, which accounts about 2.5% of global carbon emissions?
Sustainable aviation fuel is kind of front and center right now. Just like hydrogen and gas turbines, our engines currently run on sustainable aviation fuel. We've run, I think, more than 400,000 flights on sustainable aviation fuel. So our technology is ready. We have to get the pipeline for sustainable aviation fuel there. But we think we have to do more than that. It's not enough. So we're innovating some technologies today for the next decade, like open fan designs, where you have a jet engine with a propeller in the front. It'll reduce emissions by about 20%. And in the future, you might get on a plane that'll have be a hybrid electric flight or a hydrogen-powered flight or some combination of all of that. And so those are the technologies we're literally in the labs today to work on for the next decade.